Hello, it's Greg Allison with Green Greg's coming to you with Swivel Head News. My friends, holy smoke. Zoom just told me a minute ago that this was unavailable. My memory on my computer is peaked out. I'm peaked out. We're going to try to do this quick tonight, even though we got a lot to cover. I got a lot to do tonight, but there's just so much happening. I had to bring it to the news. What's cooking? What's going down, guys? It's coming all around from every direction. So hang on, guys. Let's pay a lot of attention to what's going on. I'm going to do some shares. And let's see, we only got 3 people in the room right now. Hey, Lady LaBelle, sorry for getting started so late, guys, but I had another video to do. I had some other stuff to do. I got a couple of 2 or 3 videos in work for later down the road. One of them's taking me a lot of time. It's got a lot of inputs going on. I'm trying to calculate. I'm working on calculating the TNT equivalent in megajoules of something hitting the Earth and the Moon for my Chinese show. Guys, it's like nuclear. So you got to watch my next show on Galactic Regs. And I've got a lot of calculations I'm working on there. So just hold on your hats, guys. That's coming to you soon, straight from the moon. But let's hope. It's just my video and not what China might want to throw at us. Hey, Nicole, how you doing? Guys, you need to also go back and check on my Galactic Regs channel. I'll show you the link later when I get some other stuff cleared out of memory. I just did a video on a nuclear reactor that will burn up the spent fuel rod waste. It will burn up all this spent fuel. It's fuel to this reactor. And not only that, it can produce lots of power. We can take the uranium out of the seawater. And this thing, if it shuts down, it goes into a safe state. It don't require pumps and all the other stuff that our reactors do today to keep them safe. And it's low pressure. It don't require a huge thick pressure steel on it, just maybe an inch thick. Don't even require the containment buildings and all this stuff that we build around our reactors today. It is so much safer than what we're using, and it can be done. The technology is developed. It's actually simple technology. We should have this thing all over the place. It shouldn't be as big a regulatory problem to get approved as these pressure water reactors we have now. So guys, check out my other channel, Galactic Regs. Go see that video. Maybe one of you mods can go link the cut and link the put the link in the chat room, guys. How y'all doing? We got a lot of good people here tonight. Vicky, how you doing, Vicky? Good to see you again. Yeah, I got too many irons of fire. I got to go out and not only take my garbage out, but I still got to water microgreens tonight. I got to get up early because I'm working stuff. I'm working on a system safety analysis document for the integrated avionics test lab for the space launch system right now. I got a lot of stuff I got to do on that, and this is for the part of the lab that's called the CITFQ. It's for the EUS. I got a lot of stuff in the fire, guys. Lots of stuff, and so I just keep cooking. And but I don't want to be all night here like I am a lot of live sessions. So I just want to shoot straight into this. We got 48 in the room now, so yeah, we're going to go straight into my presentation here, guys, because the world is going mad. The world is going crazy, and that's what this is all about. The world is going mad. I think that's what I call this video. The world is literally losing its mind. So let me do the screen share here. Hang on. How many windows I got open? It's insane. Ding, ding, ding. Here we go. Bang. So I'm going to shut this down a little bit. So the Hill, this is the newspaper that you see up in Capitol Hill. If you run the halls of Congress, as I have many times, you see this in the cafeterias, on the tables. You find it around the offices of a lot of the Congress critters. This newspaper called the Hill. Now it's online. They have a lot of good articles in the Hill. Nikki Snutt, good to see you. Citizen Z. All right, so save T at. Yeah, we're going to abolish all cash bonds. Interesting. All right, guys, we're going to cover a lot of ground here tonight, and I got to do it fast. Think China's aggressive now? Wait until after the 20th Party Congress. This whole idea is once Xi Jinping consolidates power, if he can pull this off and go for his 3rd term, the whole idea is watch out. Watch out, guys. He's going to be kind of like the devil that went down to Georgia. He was behind and in a bind, looking for a soul to steal. So yeah, or like in the Bible, the devil gets thrown down to earth and he knows his time is short, so he's going to get about business. Well, China's having a lot of economic problems. But China's not going to fall like the United States would in the same economic problems, because China's been in worse shape under Mao Zedong, where they starved 70 million of their own people to death, and the people didn't rise up against it, knowing the government had food and knowing that the regulars were forced to not eat anything. They didn't rise up. So I don't know. China is most likely going to endure whatever the CCP puts out at them, especially now that they have high-tech control mechanisms and social credit, all the stuff they didn't have back in those days when their people were more passive. So I don't know, guys. Hey, the Terminator, how you doing? We're heading for a dark winter here in Europe. Yeah. Where in Europe are you? You know, Terminator, listen. If you guys in Europe were to get on board with this nuclear power stuff that I'm showing on Galactic Grids, you wouldn't have to worry about that stuff so much. There's no reason not to have power. There's no reason not to have energy and plenty of it. So, I bring solutions. People say, oh, Greg, you're a fear monger. Oh, I tell you what's wrong with the world, but I also bring a solution. There's plenty of solutions, plenty we can do right. It's not a matter of technology. It's our system. It's the people. We got to wake folks up and get things done right. You're in the Netherlands. Well, bless your heart. Boy, the farmers are. You're not a farmer in the Netherlands, are you? The farmers are taking in those 600 euro energy bills. What's the exchange rate between the euro and the dollar? I just paid a $600 utility bill month before last, and I paid $1.5 something this month. And normally in summertime, my utility bills are in the range of $400. And this is the first year I've seen anything like this. It's crazy, and I'm not even running hardly anything. So yeah, we're in crazy times, guys. Got my petroleum stove here. Yeah, that's what you're gonna need, something you can burn, combustion. Absolutely, guys. All right, now that China's having this exercise called Vostok with Russia. Yeah, Vostok's a popular name in Russia. Their second manned spacecraft was called the Vostok. That's where they went to Soyuz. So they had Vostok, and Soyuz. And they flew a Buran space shuttle, unmanned, but never flew again. It cost them so much. So China shows readiness for war. So what's this all about, guys? They're having their training exercises with Russia, and they are apparently satisfied with their performance, whatever that means. So they think they're ready for war, or at least that's what they're telling the world. Guys, this is a good reason to prep. And guess what? Right now at prepwithgregs.com, we still got this special, $250 off of a 3-month supply of food. That might look expensive all at once, but when you consider it's 3 months worth, go buy 2 weeks worth of groceries for that these days. And you get 2,000 calories a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get desserts and some drinks. This is a deal to make you a winner. When you look at it, no MSG is included. And you can always go up here and click on my Patriot Supply logo and go in and find your number 10 cans and other kind of food deals. You can find kind of prepping supplies. I'm going all that right now. You get $50 off this. I am really surprised. This is the cheapest they've had it since 2019 with all the other prices up. I don't know how they're doing it. Most of the other food places like this are out. And most of them only offer you 800 calories a day and call that a meal. It's not. Mr. Floyd, well, thank you. So guys, check this out. Go to it, look it up. Guys, that last video I did live with you guys where I was talking about our dear POTUS. Yeah, right. That, my friends, man, I lost a lot of subscribers over that video. And of course, it was demonetized. So if you guys, anything y'all do to help me out, that's appreciated. We're 82 in the room now. So, given all these things, manufacturers are saying, hey, now's the perfect time to leave China and get that manufacturing behind. Well, there's a lot to be said for that. Now, this article is led more toward our labor and industrialization. In fact, we lost many jobs in the manufacturing sector hurting here in the United States, and maybe time to build it back up. But there's more to it than that. China has proven to be a very unreliable partner in manufacturing because of all their shutdowns. But this could be another trick. They may be doing this on purpose just so they can force the commercialization out of their system and put their manufacturing capability behind militarization. Because, China may be deciding to follow the path of North Korea. They may become a hermit kingdom and just militarize up the yin yang. Look how poor people are in North Korea. Look how they have had times where they had famines and people were out eating grass and stripping trees and starving to death, but they kept their nuclear program going. Oh yeah, they didn't even slow that down at all. And so the things that are a priority in China, no matter how bad it gets, they're going to do it. and the people there will probably endure it, just like in North Korea. That's a sad thing, but that's more likely true than not. So eventually, I do believe that China might not be a threat to us if we can stop them from being a threat beforehand. If they get to the moon, we're in deep trouble if we're not there with them. Deep trouble. Hello, crypto alchemist. No biggie, Watchman. They're crazy. Watchman says, Granny, that's unreasonable. Like sheriff in the county seat. What's this? They're dispatching, ask questions. You might have every right as an American. There's a lot of stuff going on. Different counties are reacting different to some of these things. Billy the Kid. Yeah, well, you know what? It ain't part of my plan. We don't have to take their plan laying down, you know. It's like I don't take my sleep lying down. I take it in the cup. Oh yeah, you don't see me. I got my. Go ahead. Yeah, y'all can't see. I don't know why this is doing this. Sometimes when I minimize my thing, I can't see me in the corner. I'm seeing it here over here though. All right. So let's have a look. See, let's go around here and look at a couple of other things. Now, as you may know, there's been a rout of Russian troops out. There's been a rout out of Russians from Ukraine a bit in certain areas, not everywhere, but in that area around Kharkiv, they have been routed. Now, some people like hey, Canadian Prepper says, hey, that he believes that they're doing this on purpose. It's a pullback so that this man here can have an excuse to declare a full war or mobilization. Now he may not call it that, but it could be. So, hey, Captain Trips, how you doing? King of everything. Hey, have everything under control. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for letting us know that. So, guys, what's happening here? A lot of people are concerned that under the pressure they're under, they may resort to nuclear weapons. Now, this Rose Gottenmoeller was she was the deputy secretary to NATO for the United States. So she's had some power. No, she's deputy secretary of NATO. Excuse me. I don't know. She's in the United States. Gottenmoeller. It's not like a German name there, but so she's predicting unpredictable reactions from Putin and potentially the use of nuclear weapons. There's other predictions relating to Putin, and there's also came out that our good friend Lee Wilbarger was showing video today showing that roads all around Moscow were closed, and there's been a lot of people so-called talking about overthrowing Putin. So maybe there was fears of a coup attempt, and so they were circling their wagons. Now I don't know. That's conjecture. I don't know, guys. I'll say, well, Greg said this, Greg says no. I'm just telling you that roads were closed all around Moscow. There's a lot of conjecture about it. What it is or what it was not, I don't know. Hey there, New Days always. How you doing? Hey, New Days, how about grabbing my video that I did earlier on Galactic Grids and pasting some links in here? People need to see that. Boy, Satan's minions may not be held in contempt in this world, but they'll be held in contempt when, gee, there you go. Bingo. But you know what, guys, let's keep out of their craziness as much as we can. All right. Now, Medvedev, he's really concerned about these security guarantees for Ukraine. And he's talking about an apocalypse. Basically, what he's saying is that this is like World War III, the way the West is supporting Ukraine, how Ukraine's going. Now, this guy was a previous president of Russia. I mean, Putin had to step down for the purposes of the Constitution they had. So this guy's kind of like one of the right-hand guys of Putin. And he is right now a deputy minister of defense in Russia. So he's got his finger right in the defense establishment. He's got the connections to Putin. He was president of the country. So this guy is a pretty powerful person in the Russian realm. So you got to pay. And Medvedev has been saying a lot of stuff lately, a lot of really negative things. He used to be a pretty mild-mannered guy, it seemed, but his rhetoric now is far from it. Now, I don't know, guys, whatever y'all think about that, it's just something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on because things could get testy. Things could be hot. Now, here's the other thing. Wars broke out again between Azerbaijan and Armenia. This was happening yesterday. I really wanted to do a video yesterday. I just couldn't pull a thank you, New Days, for showing that. Y'all need to check that video. It's got the solutions there, guys, for energy, especially you friends up here in Europe who are freezing. Yeah, we've got people that are really looking at some issues in Europe this winter. It's going to be a dark, cold winter in Europe, as has been observed by the Terminator, who's in our chat room tonight. So he is in Netherlands. So yeah, need to be 96. Yeah, you know, these folks like that do seem to live a long time, don't they? These folks in the order of the world that's not so new, if you know what I'm saying. But check this out. The war has broke out between these. Now, Armenia may be kind of sort of in the Middle East, but they are actually, and they've lived under the Ottoman rule. They've lived under the rule of the Muslim empire for a long time. But this is a Christian nation. They've always been a Christian nation from way back. Christian country. Now, these are the people the Turks like to put the side of Jenny on, Jenny's side. You know what I'm trying to say in code here. But they have been attacked a lot by the Turks, unfortunately. But Azerbaijan, probably backed by Turkey, has been attacking and the Armenians. And actually, here's an odd thing. It may be that Iran may actually side with Armenia. Russia is siding with Armenia in this case, because Armenia is kind of close to them. So this is a problem there. And this isn't the only other little brush fire war that's kicking up right now. Well, there's been a lot of tension between Turkey and Greece, and the Turks are accusing the Greeks of shooting at one of their planes. So back just a few days ago. So there's and then you got the thing in Kosovo with Serbia is really hot right now. So there's a lot of hot spots in the world. I'm happy. I love my worms. That's good to hear, Granny. See, there is. What is a Christian? Well, you tell me. So people that follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, whether you abide by that or not is not my business. I'm just telling you who they are. And it's part of the weird politic is that Iran and Armenia may be on the same side, because Armenia is on Iran's border, and Iran knows who Armenia is. They're not having any issues from. But apparently Israel is tight with Azerbaijan. And Iran don't want Azerbaijan influences on their border. Now, so we got a Jewish nation tight with a Muslim nation, and a Christian nation who might be seen as the best defense for another Muslim nation. I don't know, guys. The Mideast is weird. It is a twisted, sordid place. So what's this about G. Edward Griffin? Christians meat ain't, says Melanie. Well, the whole point of this is just to show you the weird politics of the region. But right now they are stoking war there, and this has been some hot stuff. Now, the Armenia did not turn out so well in the last conflict, guys. The Azerbaijani were beating them. So we'll see what happens. I think I skipped one. No, here we are. So now, just for general, what's going on in the country? Looky here, getting kind of fed up. San Francisco teetering on the edge of mass exodus. Poll shows why. It's the homelessness. It's the crime. It's lawlessness is driving people out of San Francisco. Well, who would have thunk it? I strongly suspect the USA is a mystery Babylon. It might be. Yeah, that's what some people say that Russia would EMP us according to prophecy. Now, I've seen other preachers say, no, that wasn't the case, and that's not the right interpretation. Who knows, guys? Who knows? We will know eventually. So now get this: not only San Francisco, but Seattle. The cops, the sheriff's deputies, they're leaving. They're leaving Seattle, and crime is spiking. It's the same thing. And why is this? Isn't it interesting how all these uber liberal cities are having such issues? You know, the woke culture is crashing. Socialism, guys. The more socialist a country, the more it fails. Look at Venezuela. You know, socialism is a failed experiment. It fails consistently over and over and over and over. And the harder over it gets, the more left it gets, the more toward communism it gets. Oh yeah, it don't work. That's why they got to have one party systems, because they can't handle any competition, because the people would always choose the other side. And they have to be autocratic and despotic to maintain that one party control. And so there you have it. You get a totalitarian system every time you get that kind of regime in place. And yeah, they have equality among the, of course, not with leadership, but among the masses. You get equality. You're all starving to death equally. So it's, go ask the Venezuelans, go ask the North Koreans. Look at the difference between North Korea and South Korea. North Korea, if you look at the satellite image, just dark. If you look at South Korea, it's all lit up. Big difference, guys. Big difference. Unfolding faster and faster. Yeah, everything's coming. Yeah, so this is just it. Things are unraveling, guys, all over the world. So I say as world man. I get this. I got in trouble for talking about what Biden said. So I'm not really going to talk about this, but just read the headlines. I'm not even going to talk about it, but just read the headline. This is a headline, guys. This is a headline. This is one of our government officials. And look at that face. Rawr. And guy's lips all puckered up. Yeah, okay, right. Well, geez, guys. Okay. Some people, one guy said, "Are you mad? Have you lost your mind?" In my other video on that. Well, look, it's coming from several people. You got this guy. You had AOC, you know, a couple of years ago talking stuff like this. You had people talking about taking names of all the people that supported Mr. T. And if you know what I mean, and then going after them. You know, look at the campaigns. They were actually starting to publish campaign donors because that's all the federal record. And they were talking about targeting them. Well, I don't think they can pull that off. But still, it's just a whole tempo. It's nuts. We don't need this kind of stuff in this country. I'm not advocating anything like that, guys, but you need to know, keep your eyes wide open, your head on a swivel. That's what we're all about here. Now look at this. They want to track the sales through credit cards, as you know, of things that are related to nugs. Nugs are the kibble feeding devices that go in nugs. You know, you got nugs get hungry, they got to eat their kibbles. You know what I mean? Oops, that picture might get me in trouble. Gadsden flag. Oh my goodness. Oh, these things on the wall. I better change channels here. Yikes. Yeah, I'm having enough trouble here. But guys, so what they're saying is, yeah, the government is using the private industry to do their dirty work. And so once they track this thing, they can track everything. A lot of us are concerned with the central bank digital currencies because it becomes a social money that the government's got strings to. Well, apparently they're getting in their strings on everything, in your bank accounts, with the banks, with your credit cards. They're just saying, and they don't want you to make transactions over a few dollars without them tracking it. So they'll be tracking everything. So where are we going here, guys? Uncle Sam is getting too big for his britches. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? These days, well, Greg, my sentiments are just the reverse of that headline towards. Yeah, we got to be careful, folks. Got to be careful, folks. Yvonne Chun-Sun Jennings, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Hey, thank you for that. Yeah, we need thumbs up. Hey, we got 104 in the room and only 53 thumbs up. Half of you not giving me a thumbs up. The algorithms on this channel, this platform, are smashing me. I am being stomped, not by a little bit, by hard. Other channels that cover the same topics with guys who don't even know the topic they're talking about get 10 times more views than I get. Little bitty channels get way more views than I get. Why? Probably because I don't just tell you about things going on, but I say, hey, we got an organization over here, Freedom Restoration Foundation. Join this, come in here, check out our website and take action. Oh, they don't like that. That's probably the problem, because I'm not just out here saying, woe is me, the world's coming in, sky's falling, stick your head in the sand, but get you some beans and rice before you do it. I'll tell you the get you beans and rice. I'll do that. And I'll tell you, the buckets and how to do wild edibles. If you can't afford those buckets, go get the wild edibles. I got plenty of videos on this. Some people criticize me for doing the videos on that stuff. That's an option available to you if you can handle it. But I got other videos. The wild edibles are free, man. And I show you how to find them, what they are. So let's see. Now all credit cards are reporting. Yeah. And what else? What they're going, with the exception of Discovery card, that's good to know. What are they going to report next? What's the next thing? Guys, it's getting out of control. It's, this is a violation, not only of the Amendment number 2, I believe of the 4th Amendment, God knows what else. They don't care anything about your Bill of Rights. How is it that a bureaucrat can pass an ordinance or an order? How can a president do by fiat dictate, come out with something called an executive order and make law, especially law that countermands the Constitution? How do they do that? How is it that Congress thinks they can pass a law that countermands something in the Constitution, and they think that's okay as long as the Supreme Court don't strike them down? Wow, they're doing it constantly. But if you talk about, I'm on dangerous ground right now, I'm on thin ice, I better shut my But guys, this is nuts. There'll be plenty of rhinos in the demon rats to eat. Demon rats. There we go. Demon rats and rhinos. Oh yeah. All these guys says, oh yeah, well, we need to work with these milder Republicans or easier. They're talking about Mitt Romney, They're talking about Elizabeth Cheney, who nobody wants them anymore. So let's see. Greg, have all y'all seen the Safety Act bill they passed in Illinois? It's almost like the purge it and abolish all cash bonds for major. Well, what does that do when you don't have cash bonds? I mean, you can't bond out. The defenders can't ever bond out. Is that what it means? The blue and the red work together against the people. Yeah, Billy, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. Brandy, is Brandy in the room? Oh, Brandy, how you doing? Good to see you. Been a while. Been a while. So we're just going over some of this news. I'm almost done. I got one more thing to pull up here. Oh yeah. Gas prices, thankfully, are coming down, but they're coming down in part because they've released the national oil reserve to a great degree and some other things. But if you think, a lot of people will change their vote just based on the fact that gas prices have gone down, they're going to say, oh, that's good. But if you think they're going to stay down, you're not paying attention. Sue and settled. Yeah, so they are back to blocking oil and gas drilling. Yeah, and when's this really going to take place? Well, it'll be after the election, of course. So, guys, the gas prices will be going back up. Looks like they'll be going back up by a good bit. Watchmen, why worry? Because God says to fear Him and seek out your salvation. That's right. The things of this world will pass away, but you got eternity to live day after day. Here's a scary thing, guys. Both Republicans and Democrats agree. Doomsday, Civil War loom large. We've talked about this kind of stuff. All right, enough of this. I'm going to get out of that. Maybe I need to kill a couple of these pages. There we go. I'll get rid of that one. Come back and save some of these. Let's see here. Let's go. Hello, how y'all doing? Let's see, I may pull up a YouTube page in a second. Let's see. Ding, 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 ding. Give me a second there. How's everybody doing here? Greckles. Safety bill can't get rid of trespassers either. What? Can't get rid of trespassers. That's not good. Yeah. Scary stuff. All right, let's go back into share here again. Here's my Galactic Greg's channel. Now come in here and check out the Safe, Plentiful Energy video. It's only got 177 views on it. Guys, this is how we can burn up those, I always worry about those spent fuel rods. That's one thing that just worries me to death about a grid down. This reactor eats them. This reactor burns them up. That's the cool thing about it. That's what this reactor does. Fast neutron reactor. It consumes that stuff. And it's not a pressure water reactor. This thing is very low pressure. It is no pressure. Essentially, it's whatever the ambient pressures pretty much. So like a 1-inch steel case and big enough to hold it, won't go into meltdown. It's got all kind of advantages. And also check videos up here. I'll be coming. Hey, by the way, we are not going to launch on the 21st. We're going to launch on the 27th or the 2nd of October. We're going to use the 21st as a tanking test day. I should come out and make a video on that over here. Talk about that. Maybe a short video. I might do it tomorrow. But anyway, I got plenty of topics to cover. I just don't have enough time to do them. So this China's secret megawatt space reactor video. And let's see, there's a couple of videos in here that needs to be taken in context together. China plans to leave SpaceX in the dust, showing that they're developing a massive rocket beyond what SpaceX is doing, beyond Artemis, and this 1 megawatt nuclear space reactor. And then when you see the next video I'll come out in this series, it's going to shock you. This all fits together, guys. It all tells the story of where China's trying to go. And this story is downright scary. And the solution to it is we can't let China get to the moon without us being there. We can't let them get their foot there and not us be there too, in a way that they can't knock us out. So we probably need some Space Force guys up there. In any event, guys, I just wanted y'all to see that. This is my other channel, and I'm trying to get it up in views so I can get it monetized. It's only halfway there. I've been putting a lot of videos on this channel lately, as you can see. So we're trying to get this channel up there. Oh yeah, this is where I've also got, guys, I come up with stuff like how to stop your hypersonic missiles, how to stop the Sarmat 2, all these things that they say can't be done. Yeah, I come up and say, oh no, yeah, it can be done. That's how you do it. It's all engineering, man. That's what us engineers do. We find solutions. And then they tell us, oh, we're in trouble. We can't live green unless we all give up all our freedoms. No, this is the greenest concept there is right here. And you keep your freedoms. In fact, this is a very independent concept right there. You keep all your freedoms. So, yeah, they're just trying to control us. That's all it boils down to. They tell us how to live while they're zipping around in their fancy jets, private jets. So, you know, we don't need to listen to those guys who are about all that stuff, though. The world of the order that's not so new, the set of that's not so great, if you know what I mean. The swab the deck Charlie boy, Klaus, Klaus, Klaus in the house. All right, guys. Yeah, I have to talk a little Cody here. All right, so let me stop the share here. Bing, bing, bing. All right, guys. We've been going here for a little bit. Thank you for sharing that, New Days. Appreciate that. That's that video. Check it out. And check out that channel, the Galactic Greg's channel, and need some support over there. And that's a topic that could have been on this channel because it's a power grid topic. But the guy saw my video, I guess, when I was talking about, you know, the man with a fist in the air, and he thought this channel was too partisan for him to be on. He's an engineer. You know, a lot of engineers don't want to deal with politics at all. Somebody was criticizing him on the other channel in the notes after the video because he was kind of ignoring some things, but he does not want to talk politics in any fashion, which is typical. This is why engineers, you know, don't get as much programmatic stuff as the liberals do. You know, people that hate certain things, you know, technical things, they get a lot more mileage than engineers do. Engineers just don't know how to market their concepts, and typically we lose out because of that. I try to be a communicator too, though, and I have been involved in the political side of things very much. Talk about that pretty soon on Galactic Rates too. And this is what I tell you, it can matter. It makes a difference. I personally had a huge impact on the direction of the space program. And you can too. I mean, guys, all it takes is the will to make a phone call, to get involved. You may think you won't have impacts, but I can tell you how when we were lobbying to keep, when David Stockman wanted to cut the space shuttle fleet back in when Reagan first took the White House, we called in and says, no, preserve them. We need the shuttles back in. And Ronald Reagan heard all these calls and went to Stockman and says, no, you put them back in. And we figured that we actually then knew how many calls went in, how much the budget was changed. This was like 1981. For every call that went in 1981, almost $50,000 in 1981 dollars were returned to the budget. And guys, in those days, that would have paid for a senior engineer, a secretary, corporate overhead, and some hardware to boot. I mean, when several years later, in 1989, I got out of college as an electrical engineer, which is the highest paid engineer there was type in 1989. And I got the top job offer money-wise out of my class from UAH, which got good offers. And it was $33,000 a year, which is nothing today, you know, for an engineer. So, and no, I may not be making top anymore because I'm working safety. I've been in the same company for a long time, so I've not been getting advantages of ratcheting my salary up and moving around. So, and my daughter may be making as much money as me today. But, you know, guys, but I like what I'm doing pretty much sometimes. So that's just it. Yeah. Right now, my credit cards eat up all my all my day salary stuff. So I'm trying to get something going on here to kind of make up some difference, give me some room. And that's why I'm trying to make this program work for me. I got some serious credit card debt, and I didn't run it up. I had an ex-girlfriend really put me in something deep. Learn a lot of lessons the hard way. Watch me to get long camp away from everybody, maybe just all the preps and sailboat. There you go. Water desalination. All right, so guys, you know, here's what this platform probably don't like about me. I tell you things. I gotta tell you things, but I've got the background to back it up. Plus, I come in here and I talk about things you can do. I created the Freedom Restoration Foundation. We started the tribe movement. Wiseowl actually built a website for us on that. So go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org. There's all kind of action stuff in there. We have a site on Facebook. We have a page on Facebook. We got a page on MeWe because we figured Facebook will knock us out one day. We've got, we're being ripped off, just saying, yeah, I don't doubt that. We are. NASA, you know what? NASA's budget's puny compared to all these others. Puny. I'll go into that in the future. I'm going to go more into that. I'm going to do a whole video on the politics of this thing, guys. But if China beats us to the moon, we're done. Forget it. We're finished. We will be history dust. We may not even exist. No, this is an extreme threat. You have no idea how bad it is. You have no idea what China can do from the moon. But I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you real soon. I'll bring you stuff that you don't see from any other YouTube channel or any other creator. I don't put it all on this channel, but most of it, like how to defeat hypersonic missiles, how to defeat the Sarmat, how you can live off of 1/10 of an acre, how you can make a something that's kind of like a super Earthship on steroids. It's not an Earthship, it's beyond, way beyond Earthship concept that I come up with. How to do, which I plan to build one eventually. I got to just cut up the money. I brought you, you know, when Doug Vogt was talking about how these micronovas would evaporate 600 feet of seawater, and I came up and told you how many trillion atom bombs that was equivalent to if you put all the energy straight into the seawater, but it actually take more than that. But you got to overcome the evaporation, how it would melt the rock on one side of the world, how it would strip all the air off one side and build it out on the other, and how this big bang, yeah, the Earth wouldn't even exist if that happened. There'd be no life, wouldn't even be no amoeba on this planet. And I calculated exactly how much energy it would take and gave you the atom bomb equivalent to do what he said. It's off the charts, bonkers, nuts, so crazy. You know, didn't happen. Never happened in the history of life on Earth. And I ain't gonna say what might happen in the future, but they say this happens every 12,000 years. No, it don't. It absolutely most certainly does not. And I proved it. And I also showed you the evidence of why we're not having those big 2-mile-high tsunamis on Earth, you know, every 12,000 years. And the evidence is in the caverns on Earth and several other things. That is bonkers. Bonkers, 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 bonkers. Who else? What other YouTuber has calculated for you the amount of energy it would take. Doug Vogt didn't do it. You know, he made the allegations, but he didn't go through the homework. You know, when you come up with a crazy theory, sometimes you need to sit down and see if it adds up. You got to look for evidence to either collaborate it or shoot it down. Now, their so-called collaborating evidence is explainable by the Laurentide ice sheet, by the comet that hit Earth. A zillion other things can explain everything they mentioned. These big boulders out of place, yeah. But 2 mile high tsunami, oh, you would see other effects, many other effects. You wouldn't have the huge columns and stalactites and stalagmites in the caverns that we have today had that kind of stuff happen. There wouldn't be none of those big ones. None of them would be over 4 foot long, in fact. So, because I like Greg. There you go. Thank you, Bill the Kid. Appreciate that. So, you know, I bring science. I bring engineering to the table here. Serious, solid science, serious, solid engineering and prepping. And I kick out a lot of the nonsense, like Steve Benoon telling us over 2 years, I think now almost 3 years ago, and he was that summer, and like July and early August, he started saying, come November, no one on Earth will be able to deny that we got a storm of asteroids coming at us, or we'll be getting hit and pummeled, and Nibiru become blah, 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 blah. He said, I got my sources in the Pentagon. I got my sources in the intelligence community. This is what they're telling me. Blah, blah, blah. I got the credentials. I got the credits. I come on just as soon as I heard that and blasted the heck out of it. I did a video that says, no, it's not happening. And then he came out later the next year and basically said the same kind of thing all over again. And I did the video, Nibiru comes not this way. It's not now. There's nothing in the solar system like that anywhere close by. And I explained why in great details. And what I explained is not refutable. It is the facts. And I explained how and why in those videos. And also I got my sources from the Pentagon. I got my intel people, and mine must be a whole lot better than his. But he's got 400 some thousand, I don't know, maybe 1 million subscribers now. He puts out a video. If he sneezes, he gets 40,000, 100,000 views. I get, if I'm lucky, 1,000 or 2,000 views. So guys, it's funny though, that video got demonetized, got almost 4,000 views. That was a good performing video. But, you know, I try to be real. I try to bring you the real scoop as best I can. I'm not perfect. No human being is perfect. But if I tell you to worry about something, you need to be paying attention. I tell you to worry about the power grid more than anything. But hey, I'm trying to come up with solutions. I've chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. I don't just sit around and cry about stuff. Oh, this is bad. Oh, that will happen. This will happen. Oh, woe is me. No, do something. That's why this platform don't like me, because I say do something. I can show you a video where I was saying do something years ago. Don't sit around on the couch. Get up and do something. Well, there's a lot of things we can do for preventative action. I also tell you to prep and pray. Prep and pay so we have a better day. But there's also other things you can do too. And whenever I see something like that, I try to bring it to you. When I hear somebody out there throwing smack out there, garbage, blah, 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 I say something about it. Dutch and Scene. A lot of people adore him, but that laser stuff he was talking about was pure, utter nonsense. And I blew that away too. So there's a lot of nonsense out here, guys. There's a lot of craziness out here. A lot of people get an idea and they think they're right, but you know, it don't add up. Sometimes you got to stop. Now, when I first heard some of these ideas, okay, well, let me check some things out. Let me see if there's collaborating evidence here and here and here. So I go looking. When I first heard about Chang Thomas, you know, that so-called classified paper, blah, 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 by the CIA, blah, 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 and some of the Doug Vogt stuff, some of these other things. I thought, well, okay, let me go looking. What's the story with the Antarctic ice sheet? What's the story with this? What's the story? I went looking for all these collaborating pieces of evidence. I even sent Ben Davidson a message. I said, Ben, if the equator flipped where Antarctica was on the equator, how come the South Pole ice didn't melt off? Some of that ice is millions of years old. He said, oh, it flipped right back to the exact same spot. Oh, now I got to accept the idea that the Earth flipped, but then it flipped again, exactly back to where it was before. I'll go into several reasons why the Earth didn't flip in the first place. At least the crust, you know, he said the crust flips on the core stays the same. Of course, they said because the core's got so much angular momentum that flipping that would take something like a black hole flying nearby, or something. It would take a whole lot of mass coming really close by, and it'd probably pull you out of your orbit. But I don't know, guys, there's a lot of stuff out there that don't make sense. I look at it and I try to make the sense of, okay, what happened, what didn't happen, and then when I see that, I bring it to you. So, you know, I'm not a flat earther. We're good to build a kid, because, you know, when I go out at nighttime after the sun sets and it's dark right here, I can watch a satellite go overhead, like the International Space Station. We track them, and I can watch that thing go overhead, and then I can see, you know, after a certain time when, you know, the Earth's shadows up there in space, but there's still some sunlight. You can watch that satellite go until it hits the shadow and it winks out. Why does that happen? Because the Earth's a sphere, the sun's over there. And the satellite is still up there where the sun's still shining before it sets completely. You know, it goes around further, but there's a shadow. Once that satellite hits a shadow, and why is there a shadow? Because the Earth's a sphere. The sun's on the other side. There's so many ways to explain the Earth being a sphere. It's not funny. The whole thing about radio towers, the higher they get, the further they reach. Why is that? Because they overcome the curvature of the Earth. Anyway, Apollo 13. Yeah, Apollo 13 had an issue. Greg, do you know Brooks Agnew? Not by name, I can't say that I do. Trust the science, says Billy Kid. Well, I try to bring you stuff that's science, but I try to bring it to you where it makes sense, guys. You know, I try to bring it down to earth. I try to make it make sense. Let me go back and check through some of the chat room here. Let me move this little computer around here. Okay, while I'm doing this. I'm not gonna read everything. It's late. I gotta go. I got a lot of stuff to do. Got 130 in the room, but only 94 thumbs up. That means there's probably been 300 come through here. You know, people will come in and they'll watch for a little bit and then they go. So give me some thumbs up, guys. This platform is stomping me. It's stomping me hard. So help me out, guys. And I lost a lot of subscribers when I did that video about the POTUS when he's going. Guys, I just bring you this stuff so you'll be aware that they may be coming after us in different ways. I showed you the legal precedent for what could happen. And then some people go, well, I had somebody come, Greg, you lost your mind. That's really special of you. That's crazy. Well, several of them have talked about these kind of things. And well, I'm going on that thin ice again. Hope this video don't get hit. Yeah, too many of these videos and I'm done on this platform, guys. I got to be real careful. Yeah, guys, the main way on this platform that I could possibly earn money is using as a funnel to sell worms. I have probably lost half of my worm customers by talking about the stuff I tell you guys about. So and the difference in income does not make up for what this channel pays me. No. So I probably would be far better off if I just shut my mouth and talked about worm farming only. Worm farming and gardening, wild edibles, nothing else. I'd probably be far better off. And in fact, it might be I could lose my channel talking about this stuff too. And that would really set me behind very significantly. So, I'm still thinking about starting a Swivel Head News channel or something, some other channel to bring you guys what's happening in the world stuff. And I've had several people tell me that, well, they sure would like to see the videos from the farmers market and, want to go to the flea market. Well, what I discovered was those videos will really hurt me on the algorithm side, because what YouTube does is they take every video you do and they send it to your subscribers. But a lot of my subscribers don't like that kind of stuff, because I got a prepper community, I got a gardening community, I got people out worm farming. They don't even like each other. So when these guys get a video on this, they don't like it. When those guys get a video on this, they don't like it. And when they get a video on this stuff, which all you guys like to watch, ain't none of them likes it. So that's when you're supposed to pick a very specific, tight niche. And I'm a little too broad in this channel. So I need to do something about that. Vicky says the powers that be are powers that will be removed from power. Thank you for that. Yes. All right. David Boy says, I'm sure the government pays good. Ben Davidson, William Reed Ben Davis. Okay. You must see him debunked massively on YT channel. Professor Dave explains. Yeah, it's not hard to debunk him. His science is pseudoscience goofiness. Yeah, this whole thing of talking about the sun crusting up. So you're going to take silicon, as he says, it crust up with glass and stuff. Now, where's the glass come in from that space that's crusting up on the sun? How's it get crusted up? What's it get crusted up from? Okay, but then, take any time you boil something and you got heavier elements and lighter elements and you heat it up, what happens? The heavier stuff always goes down, the lighter stuff comes up. Any of you ever melted lead in a pot? I have. I was casting bullets when I was a teenager. Oops. Nugs, kibbles. So all the junk floats to the top. You skim it off, the trash, and then you got pure lead. Planets, when big asteroids, enough of them crash together to make a ginormous asteroid like Ceres, all the heavy elements go to the core, like a planet, Earth. The lighter stuff, like our crust, goes on the outside. We're missing a good chunk of our crust. It wound up on the moon. That's why we have pieces of our crust on Earth floating around, moving around, plate tectonics. Venus don't have that. Probably wouldn't have any. This probably wouldn't be a survivable planet if it weren't for that. And you can please some other people sometimes, not all people all the time. That's true. But sometimes you just need different platforms for different things. I don't know if I got time to keep up with several platforms though. Wiseau, I love all the topics and everyone here. Well, thank you, Wiseau. Some people do, but you're special in a good way. I have a few people who like it all, but a lot of people don't. Majority don't. It kind of messes up the algorithms. So I might have to have just a market man channel, maybe. I did create a channel called Product Papas, but I'm not. I've got some videos. Actually, one or two I've done. I just not posted on that. And I don't have really enough time to. Hey, Merlin, thank you, Merlin and Faye King's Crown. Thank you there. First super chat tonight, I believe. All right, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me scroll back up. I don't see any other super chats. All right, first one tonight. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Citizen Z. Did we go to the moon? Billy doesn't believe we did. Who's Billy? We went. I know Buzz Aldrin. All that Buzz Aldrin knows me. Buzz Aldrin's called this house twice, by the way. So, and I know the guys who designed the moon rocket. I used to work for them. So I used to work for these guys, and it was absolutely capable of doing it. So is the one we're working on today. If it don't go boom. David Potter, I made a battery terminal out of tire weights once. There you go. Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. That's good. That's creative. Or you can take the battery terminal, battery plates, and turn them into kibbles. Hungry nuts. All right. Yeah, we did Groucho. So nah. That's look, he jacked the guy for accusing him of that. A lot of stuff gets taken out of context. Now, sometimes we all tease and kid. I know better than that. I knew Frederick Ordway III. He worked for Stanley Kubrick. No. Hang on. something. Fine, I'll show it to you. Oh, where's it at? I don't know. We have to find another day. Hang on, guys. We're digging enough right now, apparently. I got too much digging to do for what I was hunting. That wasn't Stanley Kubrick in that video. People make craziness all the time. All right. All right, Arnold. Sounds good. Billy, start a channel, improve. Man, he didn't prove no such thing. Vaughn Sunshine, Greg Allen, you are living my life stream. Okay, well, thank you there. Well, that's from Greg Allison. Living your live stream. Hey, my life's not an easy life, guys. It might look easy on film, but it's not. She meant that, Vicky. It's all right. I've been called worse. Yeah, we went to the moon. I'll show you more on it one day. And by golly, if we don't get up there, if we let the Chinese beat us, we're in huge trouble. Huge trouble. Ketchup smallpox. That's an interesting name. It's all relative. High strangeness in the new normal. Pickaxe, how you doing? How you doing? Rotate your food preps. That's good advice there in new days. Good advice. Good advice. All right, guys. Yeah, he was filming 2001: The Space Odyssey. He did that. He didn't have that kind of, like, Fred Ordway showed us all his set and what he had and how he did it. He didn't have that kind of fidelity, not what they had on the moon. So, and by the way, I just want to show you the book that I got from Fred Ordway that he signed for me. Fred Ordway was his science director. Frederick Ordway III. Look him up. He's on Wikipedia. Look him up. Anyway, we can talk about this. Maybe I'll do a video on galactic grids and talk about this topic down the road. All right, but for now, it's getting late. Hey, Laverne, thank you. I wish this was 5 billion. Loved you and yours. Well, thank you, Laverne. Thank you, Laverne Lucchini. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's mighty sweet of you. All righty, guys. Let's hope this video don't get demonetized, because I have gone into, I almost got into some dangerous territory. I've tried not to go directly into it. I think probably the pictures I showed and that other one probably didn't help. And anytime you talk about the guy who is in the House of White at the moment, if you don't just make him just lovey-dovey, you're in trouble on this platform. Now, you can talk about the T-Man and run him down all you want. You can accuse him of everything. You can make up stuff and call him any kind of name in the book. That's okay. Perfectly okay. Actually, I have done anti-T-Man video. I sure have. I did not like him throwing Julian Assange under the bus. I really didn't like that. And so it puts me really wondering who he is. I'm going to tell you something, though. It's not really about him or the other man. It's about us. That's what it really boils down to. Because T-Man got in the White House because a bunch of people felt like the government was too big. And a bunch of people still feel like the government was too big. That is an argument that I don't argue against. We got a lot of changing we need to do. A lot of changing we need to do, my friends. So we talked about that, but that's the dangerous territory. That is the dangerous territory right there. So hang in here. We'll try to get this communication here one way or another. But, you know, getting partisan gets you in trouble. It cost me a lot of my customer base for my worms. So I do appreciate when y'all come in and help out. T-Man said they're not, they're not after me, they're after you. Well, yeah, that's really true. That part is true. Because their ambition is to keep the state of deep in the keep. Yeah, keep it going. They don't like this idea that we might not want it. It's like, you know, a malignancy, a cancer that's grown upon us. It feeds off of us. They want to grow it more. They want to take your liberties so that you can't challenge it. Some of us are somewhat less than totally enthusiastic about this idea. You know, I'm just saying. But yeah, I think we got to turn some things around. So far, if we really all get together and focus and throw some overwhelming support in the ballot box, we can change some things. We can definitely change some things. So I think that's what we got to do. The other kid says, Greg, love you, man, but the moon landing, you need to prove that we were landing on the moon. We did. We got the laser reflectors up there. Guys, we built these rockets. We're totally capable of going to the moon. We put the people on them. We launched them, and thousands of people, tens of thousands, actually hundreds of thousands, watched them go up every time. And then the capsule come back on the other side of the world. I mean, why would you do all that and send something that could do the job and not do the job? That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous. China, Russia are on the same team. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, USA. Could be. Look, I've asked several times in videos. I says, are we being played? Are we being played? A lot of people, you know, think that Ukraine's not a wonderful place. We know they got a lot of corruption, but a lot of people think that Russia is doing a good job, the job of the Lord. And they think that the Russia's taking care of and getting rid of the Setteri. I know a lot of people believe that, but you know what? I've seen a lot of video, and I've shared a little bit of that with Klaus Schwab and Putin being all lovey-dovey. So I don't know, guys. I'm kind of thinking this whole thing plays right into their hands. This whole thing, I think it's the greatest thing to advance what they want that there is out there. So I'm not convinced. You know, I think that we're being played on both sides. I've said that. Now, I could be wrong. I challenge anybody to show me why that's not the case. And I got an open mind. I hope that's not the case. All righty, what we got going on here? Brandy's laughing. What's up, Brandy? Oh, she's agreeing with me and then laughing. The T-Man isn't a globalist. That's just the way they hate him. Oh yeah, maybe that is why. Well, he's definitely cut of a different cut there. Hey, Uncommon News. Doug, how you doing? Doug, what is the latest with the Stop the Who? What are we supposed to do for Stop the Who, Doug? Energy scarcity, look at what's that. Man, look, we don't need an energy scarcity. There's tons of energy on this planet. We could have such abundant energy, it would be safe. There would be nothing to it, guys. Check out the video we just put up on Galactic Graves. Check that video. Share it again if you would, Katie. Galactic Graves. I just did a video on there showing how we can have safe nuclear power with all kind of energy. And we'd burn up the fuel rods. So it'd be a lot safer. And these things, they fail safe. They don't have all the pumps and stuff that our current ones have. There's no point in us being cold, being without energy. That's goofy. How that we could desalinate water, take uranium from water, take lithium from water. Your water is almost desalinated then. And then you got all this energy from all these plants. Why not desalinate it? You know, why is California got to want to drain the Mississippi and pump it all the way to California? That's goofy. That's goofy. And you talk about messing up the environment. Let's take all the organisms in the Mississippi River and dump them in the Colorado River and see what that does to the ecosystem. How goofy. How goofy. Brother Ken Norwood. We have more important things discussed. Let's get our grid protected. Amen, Brandy. Amen. That's what I talk about more than anything. You can submit your, oh, we're still doing the videos? I thought you said do something else. I thought that we changed it and was going to be go on other platforms and post some hashtag stuff. So it's still a 90-second video, but we got to get approved ID to do that, right, Doug? Go to stopthewho.com, guys, and check this out. Stopthewho.com. Thank you. Thank you for that. You days always. Doug, share the Stop the Who in the channel. Go it's just stopthewho.com, guys. But go ahead and share it. Get Doug. Hello, Green Greg. Thanks for all you do and awesome work. But some people can't comprehend or even believe the facts. Yeah, okay. You know, it's some people you can't argue with. I learned a long time ago not to sweat it too much. I got a lot of friends that I don't see eye to eye on certain topics, but the key thing is, do we see eye to eye on the key things? Hey, I used to go on what's his name? I used to go on the program of what was that guy's name? He used to have a big YouTube channel, and I outgrew him though. But oh shoot, Jeffrey starts with a D. Come on, somebody help me out. Jeffrey starts with a D. He was at LeakCon. Jeffrey Daugherty. Jeffrey Daugherty. Oh, he got into bashing NASA real hard, and he said we didn't go here, and all the stuff he'd throw out, I could refute it. But I went on his channel because we talked about the control grid, the world, the world order. It's not so new. We talked about, the set of Reed, that's not so great stuff. And this is stuff, yeah, that's stuff. Well, that's not how you spell it. They said you got the idea. The Daugherty. So we just focused on what we agreed on. That's why people can work together. Focus on what you agree on. I'll do some video eventually. I'll get around to it on the electric grades. Got a lot of other stuff to cover first, so we got a lot going on right now. And yeah, I've got a video I'm got to get in the works about a food forest, why you need a food forest. And I had to reshoot it twice. I messed up. And I wanted to have that posted already. It's one of these not posted video in a while here. Jeff Pittman, Canada. I'm on here too late, guys. It's already after 1 a.m. here, and I still got to get out. All right, Doug, did you share the, yeah, stopthewho.com. That's it, New Day, stopthewho.com. Let's see here, Matterman, a distant island would be better. Bill the Kid, we went. We didn't. How about that? We went. I can do more on it later. I can refute every single claim against it that Jeffrey Daughter made. Well, how did they do the video? Well, they had a equipment box on the side of the lander where the camera was mounted. That's how they folded out the rover. And I had good friends that worked on the rover. Yeah. In fact, some of these guys are still alive. So I worked with the guys who worked on this stuff. They were my mentors. Hard shuffling. Actually, I'm cleaning my keyboard. I don't know what paper towel through it. Wasn't shuffling cards. Sounds like it though, don't it? Anyway, let's see here. William Hayes, how you doing? Good night. What's Matterman saying? Buses would sink. Oh, what's this about sinking buses? Yeah, the buses would sink. And that's good. What? What are we talking about? Buses sinking. Put the who on. Oh, I got you. I got some to California. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a curse to anybody sending them to California. Everybody's trying to get out of California. It's like going to sending people to Venezuela on a one-way ticket. Absolutely. That's a curse. Anyway, and yet all our young kids these days, they've been indoctrinated. They think that's the way. America's the worst nation that ever existed. And that's why I did a video, guys. That's why I do some of the videos I do. I do videos where I attack socialism. I do videos where I extol freedom. I do videos. I did a video not long ago when I said why America's so great. We perfect? Far from it. We did bad things, yes, but when you compare it to the world, we're way ahead. We're way ahead. Now we're falling down some now, but we still have people that's trying to pick things back up. We still have goodness. Now we've never been perfect, never have been. There will be no human society will ever be perfect. But people that think the answer is communism, people that think the answer is socialism, they think they're going to get a free ticket to sit on their rear end and play video games or something all day. And life don't work that way. The society can't survive that way. And no, it's not going to happen. And all those societies are become the most corrupt societies in the world because they have to be one party societies because nobody could, they couldn't survive if people had another choice. And to maintain themselves as a permanent one party society, they have to be authoritarian. They have to be dictatorial. They have to be a tyranny. That's the only way those parties can survive is to become tyrannical. That's the way it goes. It's all these people that think that's the great way to go. They're lost. They're lost. Yeah, Brandy. Yeah, you mentioned it. Yeah, Jeffrey kind of he was going one way, then he took a hard overturn and his character changed, and that was probably the event. Yeah, he went to Bishop prison. Something happened to him. Yeah, he wasn't a flat earther before then either. He became a flat earther and a didn't go to the moon kind of guy. But yeah, something odd happened there. Something odd. Rex was there, but but he didn't have the same effect. Jeffrey went down in that bad room. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Coming after us, Greg. Who's coming, Lee? I'm sitting here defending myself against the flat earthers and people saying we didn't go to the moon. Hey, Lee, what's happening in, hey, before I was about to go, Lee, talk to us. What's happening right now in Russia? Give us the latest. Is Moscow still in lockdown? What's happening there, man? Tell us. Cha-Cha, how you doing? Oh, Lee must have just finished a video because we got a bunch of people coming over here. Cha-Cha, Lee. Yeah, we got flat earthers in here sometimes and people saying we didn't go to the moon. So yeah, I can disprove flat earth in a zillion ways. I did it on the Galactic Greg's video. Just check it out. The idiots and the gov. So Lee, what's the latest in right now in Moscow? Are they still locked down? Is Putin quaking? Is his boots a shaking? Is he going to come back and try to call a general mobilization? Is he going to try to get more adventurous with his tactical nukes? Some people think that. I don't know about that, but there's so many people worried about that. What do you think, Lee? What's cooking? What's going to happen with Putin? Is he seriously being challenged? Will the challengers mount a credible threat to him? Or is he in control, at least within Russia? Now, here's another thing I've heard. And this is something, yeah, this is a good topic for this channel, something for y'all to think about. I got this out of my grid defense community. Since when the Russians were retreating, they attacked some of the power installation in Ukraine. So some of our guys in the community were afraid that Ukraine would actually retaliate, maybe that's what's going on, and take out the power in Moscow. I know how to do it. So are some other people. I could do it. I could go into a city and take the grid down, me and a couple other guys. Oh, I need some side grinders and drills with some battery packs. Yeah, so the concern there is that if that happens in Moscow, that Moscow will retaliate and go crazy. That's what some people are concerned about out there in the grid defense community. All right, let me go back here and see what folks are saying. All right, at least chiming in. Moscow's freaking out. The Russians are running for their lives. Okay. Hey, Cha-Cha, well, thank you for that. And let's see here. Love you too. Let's see. Martin and Faye, King's Crown, very true. A lot of weird energies at the moment. Yeah, worldwide. Amen to that. That's why I'm saying the world's gone mad. Hey, I heard that people are calling for them to be removed. I heard that. But do these people, have they got the wherewithal? No nukes. How can you be sure of that, Lee? How can we be sure? All right, Uncommonly says, if the Earth is flat, then why can't you see that? Why can you only see one side of the moon? There you go. That's one thing. Oops, what happened? I just lost something. Yeah, Kathy Pimma says, you think they would replace Putin? Not see or refuse to see. What does that build the kid? Well, if all the militaries refuse to fight, the world might be a better place. That's maybe why they're going to come. That's why China's trying to build a robot army. Well, it matters if you're trying to fly balloons and rockets and artillery. If you're in a war and you're shooting long-range artillery, you have to take the curvature of the Earth into account. If you are wanting to communicate via radio, you know to get over the horizon, you got to put the antenna higher and higher and higher. From a balloon, I can communicate 400 miles away once I get 20 miles high. Yeah. It's not that I got to have more power. No, same power. It's just I can see around the curvature. That's why, as I mentioned earlier, a satellite going overhead, once it hits Earth's shadow, winks out. If it's a little bit later in the evening. Of course, once you pass a certain time, you're not going to see the satellites going overhead because it's dark up there. But there's a period of time between sunset and when the orbits up there are in full shadow, just in low Earth orbit, that you can see satellites before the sunrise and after sunset. It's the best time to look at the low Earth orbit satellites, the polar satellites, and the ones going, from west to east, which are typically launched to coincide with the rotation of the Earth, because you get a little extra velocity, like 1,100 miles per hour to get in orbit. You got to go 17,500 miles an hour to travel in low Earth orbit. Basically, you're just falling around the edge of the Earth continuously. You're in what we call free fall. Technically, it's actually not zero gravity. You're in free fall, like, falling down an elevator shaft forever. You basically float. You're still in gravity. That's why you're held in orbit. In fact, the gravity at low Earth orbit is almost the same as it is on the ground. The gravity will drop off an inverse square as you get farther and farther away from an object. But Earth is 8,000 miles in diameter, and low Earth orbit is only a couple hundred miles up, so that's puny. Without the moon, Earth's gravity has dropped off quite a bit, but it's still enough to keep the moon in place. Wazel, yes, it's as long as the British scrolls. What is that, Wazel? Making a list is long. Oh, a list. What kind of list are we making? King Charles is a point of watching as the Vatican banking. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to watch over there right now. No kidding about that. A lot of things to keep an eye on. Is Mustang Sally in here? There, let's see here. Where's she? Oh, there she is. Hey, Mustang Sally, how you doing? Hey, is Sierra Star here? Sierra Star was saying, according to Sierra Star Uniroom, somebody told me that she had tried putting in super chats, and we never saw them scroll in her last video. And I was told, Lee, I was told that she put it on my Green Greg's channel, and I went looking for it on here in my, well, my battery's about that. I went in here looking for it, and I couldn't find where she posted anything on my room. I went looking for notes. Cowboy Roy Rogers is telling me that she posted some screenshots, and I did not see them. So that's something to look into, I guess. We're making a list of people who we want to throw off the flat earth. Yeah, I can see why it'd be a long list. Or just send them to California. Send me to hell or New York City, it'll all be the same to me. Heaven ain't a lot like Dixie, I don't want to go. Remember that song? Ain't got a grand ole Opry like I do in Tennessee. Just send me to hell or New York City, it'll all be the same to me. I was one of the chosen few to be born in Alabama. I'm just like my daddy, son. I know just who I am. Hank Williams Jr. Yeah, it was his song. If heaven ain't a lot like Dixie. And there's a couple of you are from here in Alabama, right, Mustang? Let's see here. In news on the nuclear plant in Ukraine. It's taking some hitting. I believe they got her shut down right now, but as far as I know, we haven't got to the point of having to worry about the spent fuel rod pool, but that's a sad thing. You still with us, Lee? Y'all like my singing? Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? Yeah, I gotta watch it. I might get in trouble. They might give me a copyright strike. Even though it's me singing, I sure as heck ain't the artist. I don't sing nearly like that. I have to clear my throat. I got a frog in my throat. Maybe if I tried, I definitely could do the deeper tone singing like Hank Williams Jr., right? Just gotta get my throat clear. Maybe have a little tea first. Got a frog in my throat. Yeah, rocking it, Greg. There you go. Yes, nuke plant has cooling power. It does now? Good. Good. If heaven ain't a lot like Dixie, I don't want to go. Ain't got a grand ole Opry like I do down in Tennessee. Just sending me to hell or New York City, all be the same to me. Or LA or San Francisco, where everybody's trying to get out of right now. Let's see, let's pass a law that we're going to have require electric cars by 2035, and the very next day tell everybody they can't charge electric vehicles. Nuke chain of command won't carry out orders to launch nukes. So I hope you're right on that. That's what I'm really hoping for right there. Saved us once. It saved us once, but there's only one guy in the Cuban Missile Crisis who defied the order, but that's all it took to keep us from getting in a nuclear war in 1962. Let's hope that that's the case again. Heaven Moon just saying, oh my God. It's a song, man. It's just a song. Don't get upset about it. All of us. No, it ain't. Merlin and Faye King Crown says, can't afford electric, too expensive. That's a luxury product. 18, there you go. All right, Mustang, where you heading? Let me go back up. So what do we miss? What's Mustang telling us? Watch, I came from Alabama with some ham and some salami, mommy. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. There you go, Susanna. Let's see, prevention is better than cure. Amen to that. I can get 300 seconds apiece. Hey, that's 300 seconds. You have to turn your phone off, right? Groucho, you're not hurting me at all. I'm going to tell you, we went to the moon. Forget about it, buddy. Prove we didn't, Billy the Kid. Prove we didn't. We went. Like I said, we built the rocket Guys got on it, they took off. Where the heck do you think they went? It came back down in a capsule on the Pacific Ocean days and days and days later. That was totally capable of doing the job. You got the video, the reflectors they put on the moon. You can shine laser beams off of them and see them. And we've had satellites going around the moon since they've seen the landing points on the moon. And if we didn't go to the moon, the Chinese and the Russians who had put satellites up and saw our stuff down there would have refuted it, because they'd have loved to have bragging rights and to throw shame on us, but they didn't because they couldn't, because we went. Oh, I don't take them out. Oh, okay, what did he say? If New Days did it, then he must have got over the top. All right. Hey, I don't mind having a little debate, but you know, nobody scares me. Nobody's gonna hurt me with this. But guys, we went to the moon. I've talked to the guys who walked on the moon. In fact, like I said, Buzz Aldrin has called this house 2 times. I know it. And I know a lot of the people that worked on it. There's thousands of people worked on that program. Thousands of people that worked on the Apollo program. There's no way in the world they could have pulled off something like that and hid it from all these people. Nope, didn't happen. We went. Ah, you got a good point, Kathy. Just sat him in the corner for 300 seconds. Okay. He's probably just jerking my chain for the fun of it. Probably knows better. Anyway, guys, look, it's late. It's 1:30. I got to go out and water my microgreens, and I got to take out my garbage. I got a little other work to do, and I got to get up early in the morning. So I do need to get my 4 hours of wink eye in a little bit. So yeah, whatever you guys think. We can executive the unruly. Oh, Putin. How about Putin there? Okay, Miss Gill, I get it. Arnold, Greg, brother, they watched training videos and assumed those were actual, oh yeah, planned videos. Yeah, they got a lot of mess like that. Capricorn maybe come out much later. Yeah, I saw that maybe, just maybe. Anyway, guys, yeah, that's what inspired this whole discussion. Space that crazy Capricorn one movie. Yep. Alrighty, guys. I live here in Rocket City, guys. I've lived and breathed this stuff all my life. I know these guys way back. And no rockets. See how I know rockets? Show me another YouTuber that's got wreckage of a rocket in his backyard. I got a rocket motor right here by his desk. I developed and fired off the test stand that's currently on the back of Betsy Blue, by the way. Yeah, we got other YouTubers that talk space topics. These are kids usually, except for what's his name? Most of them are kids. There's a couple of them are not. Let's see, Droid guy and what's his name? England. In brain lock right now. But there's a couple of guys that aren't kids. Most of them are just young kids. They weren't even born when I started working. A lot of them. Yeah, I put a video on one of the SpaceX channels one day, and somebody made a comment. What you doing with this newbie guy here? He's nobody. Don't post his videos. Post the videos from these other channels. Oh, I'm a nobody? You don't know me. You're an idiot. I've been doing space stuff and all kind of space stuff. I made huge differences in the space program. I have the awards to prove it, where I did entrepreneurial stuff, where I ran conferences in space, power, where I run the halls of Congress, where I changed legislation, got the article on it, and I can cite my sources. And I have been very instrumental in work on space stations and rockets and stuff for years. Some idiot kid making a comment on a YouTube channel. Asked him, what's you putting this guy in there for? Yeah, I just want to just start my Galactic Rigs channel up. Yeah, I don't have the time to make glitzy videos or sit around and give you a blow every nut and bolt, you know, that on something that's going to change the next day, because SpaceX changes their rocket design like some people change their socks. So, you know, I'm not going to go all into that because it's all going to change. I talk about the big picture stuff. This is an article I wrote, you know. I do things like this. And this talks about how basically I had a huge influence on the current architecture of our space program. Let's see this. Gregory H. Allison, Executive Vice President, NSS, Chairman of NSS Policy Committee. Yeah, this kind of stuff. I've been Chairman of the Executive Committee. Prior to that, CEO of the Society. I've done a lot of stuff in my day. A lot of things. Let's see. Kind of one out. SS officers. There's my name. I also find my name on the board of directors in this list. Board of governors. You got Hugh Downs is on the list. Hugh Downs, you know, he's called here too. Hugh Downs knew Barbara Walters. They did a program together called 2020. They say you're only 6 people waiting on anybody. I talked to every leader in the planet. So I must be 2 people away from between her and Buzz Aldrin and all the people they've met. I must be 2 people away from everybody on Earth. That and my YouTube channel, right? So, yeah, I've met a lot of interesting people in my life. Hey, I even took Marvin Minsky to a drugstore once. He was one of the fathers of AI. I've had some very interesting experiences. Oh, Billy the Kid getting timed out again. Yeah, I got to get to it. You're right. I didn't mean to go so long enough. I know I was going to go this long. I probably wouldn't even started the video tonight. Well, hopefully I can do live tomorrow night. I got some other stuff to do first. Yikes, and I still got some video stuff I need to be working on. Like I'm trying to calculate how much got it dialed in. The energy from a pole of iron, 20 foot long and 1 foot diameter, coming in from the moon and hitting Earth. What I haven't factored in yet is the extra 3,000 miles an hour that it would be accelerated. I already figured out the acceleration, extra velocity. Coming in from the moon, it would come in at almost 25,000 miles per hour. But the Apollo capsule slowed down at that point because they were aerobraking in the atmosphere. But this pole wouldn't. It would only lose about 20% of its energy and 3% of its mass coming in. And that's already been put out there in papers way back. So I've yet to calculate the energy from the extra 3,000 miles per hour. But guys, this will strike Earth with a power 53, well, without the extra velocity, 53% as much power. It's actually 8 kilotons of TNT, 8,000 tons of TNT, which is 53% the power of the little boy atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan, on the 6th of August, 1945. Now imagine machine gun rate fire of these things coming from the moon. That's what my next video is going to be about. And it's going to hit even harder. It will hit harder because that extra 3,000 miles an hour. My calculation was still just taking the lunar velocity. I got to add in that extra terminal acceleration as it's dropping from 200 miles down. That's where you get the extra 3,000 miles an hour. And energy is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. So the velocity is a huge component. Now they got this idea of tungsten rods from God. They would hit like a small nuke too, because tungsten is lots denser than iron. iron 7 point something, 7.63 maybe grams per cubic centimeter, whereas tungsten's like over 19 grams per cubic centimeter. That's the velocity that makes the biggest difference. So there's a lot to look at, guys. So just wait. I'm working on this, and I got to get all the charts put together. I've been working on it for several days. But and this will air on my Galactic Greg's channel. That's when y'all want to watch that channel. Anyway, Ace Lee, if you eat processed food, you'll have eaten more bugs than you think. That's the truth. But also, processed food is full of terrible chemicals. Processed food is extremely bad for your mental health. It is bad for your health in so many ways. From the cancer you get from it. There's just been so many studies of processed food. Guys, eat whole food. Grow a garden. Grow a garden. Eat whole food. I will not eat as a bug, says David. Hey, I heard Rex talking about that today on his video he played today with John. What's his name? The guy who studies Nostradamus. John. I'm getting brain locked today. It's late. Help me out, guys. What's his name? He's been on TV a few times back during the 2012 stuff. Oh shoot, I'm watching today. I've seen many times. Randy, you know who I'm talking about. Groucho, do something positive there. Yeah, I try to stay positive, guys. Frazioli Billy knows more about getting to the moon than a rocket scientist. There you go, Frazioli. Yeah, they all want to argue. Hey, whatever. Hey, Stan, how you doing? 152, thank you for that. Jason Smith, will the Chinese build a giant Acme slingshot to the moon? Actually, John Hogue, thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Vicky. You bingo, you got it. Glad to see you still in the house. Vicky, how are you doing? Sweet Tooth. What were you talking about tonight? Oh, Sweet Tooth, I covered a lot of ground. I talked about China, Russia. We talked about people fleeing. Hey, Russians are fleeing Ukraine, and regular people are fleeing San Francisco and up in Seattle. Cops are fleeing Seattle. They don't want to work for the place anymore. So a lot of craziness, guys. And we talked about Civil War, World War III, all kind of stuff. But now, China is developing. All right, the Saturn V had 7.5 million pounds of thrust. This Artemis 1 rocket will produce 8.8 million pounds of thrust. The Starship Super Heavy Booster, I think, is at 11, maybe 16 million. I got to go back and double check. It's one of the two. There's a couple of things that's confusing me. It's either 11 or 16 million pounds of thrust. It's got 33 Raptor engines on it, V2 Raptor engines. Our poetry nights. Yeah, I got to get back into that. All right, so poetry was a lot more fun than this stuff. And I got some other stuff I want to work on. I got a food forest video I need to work on. I know I'm going to do a worm video, but there's just so much news. I decided to come on here tonight. There's so much is happening. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Glad to be here, Greg. Glad to see you here. So Dave Barr's laughing about Acme slingshot. Yeah, it's about. Hey, I knew a guy that actually wanted to do a slingshot from 2 balloons, basically to flip a payload at the near orbital velocity. And he called on me to give him consulting because I've flown a lot of balloons, guys. I used to launch rockets and balloons. This rocket motor here was the fuel grain for a rocket we put on a balloon out in the Gulf of Mexico. And I rented ships. I went out in the Gulf of Mexico. Man, I've done some crazy things. That's how I get these kind of things. I've done some crazy stuff in my days. Stan, I'm doing well. All right. Yeah, I'm doing well here. Doesn't matter how I am, I will not be permitted to die and to fulfill what the higher authority put me here to do. Okay, very good. Very good. Very good, Vicky. Vicky's got perspective. So, what was I aiming? I was trying to put out something here. What was I going to say? Well, I got distracted. I was trying to say something. I lost my train of thought. Just fell out of my head. Now it's the best of us. It's late. Gerald Bull wanted to use artillery to shoot. Oh, yeah, thank you. He did. Gerald Bull worked on guns. He built his first gun was called Hart. He actually shot a payload into space from a gun. It was two big Navy battleship cannons welded together. Well, he took a job working for Saddam Hussein to build the biggest gun ever. It was going to be able to lob shells into space. It was huge, magnanimous. He was taken out by the Mossad. Now, I used to work with a guy named Jerry Barger. He was head of the tech division. He also became the mayor of Delta Junction, Alaska. He was head of the tech division in the Coal Regions Test Center, which was my unit when I was at Fort Greely, Alaska. Now, Jerry Barger was a civilian DOD employee. Jerry Barger was an aerospace engineer because I like space, and he was a space guy. He would come and sit at my desk, and we would talk. And I started the North Star L5 Society up there. He would come and sit down and talk to me. I didn't know until after I left Alaska the man was a millionaire. It was worth $10 million back in 1981, 83 when I was up there. His wife was a realtor, and he worked for Gerald Bull on Hart. He actually worked for Gerald Bull. He went to, he got his aerospace degree from Fayetteville State University and not Fayetteville State, North Carolina State University up in Raleigh. That's where Jerry Barger got it from. I imagine Jerry's probably passed away now. Probably him and his wife too by now. But you know, guys, that was my one person away from Gerald Bull. Like I said, I'm two people away from probably anybody on earth. I was one guy away from Gerald Bull. The Mossad took Gerald Bull out. And I'm going to do on my main video, I'm going to show you a guy who actually championed and started a program, put a probe around the moon, the Clementine probe, looked and found evidence for water ice on the lunar South Pole. But he got arrested for espionage on behalf of Israel. He was a huge guy inside our DOD. He was one of the fathers of our brilliant pebbles, Stuart Nazet. And Stuart Nazet got one of these too a couple years before I did. So that's crazy. I knew him. Yeah, so I've met a lot of interesting people in my days, good, bad, and ugly. Lots of interesting people. So what was I saying? The slingshot to the moon. So China is developing, yeah, here's what I was going. China is developing, I got this on Galactic Dress, go sit the Long March 9 rocket. That's what it is. It's going to be more powerful. I forget the exact phrase. It's going to be more powerful than the SpaceX Starship. Now, that's their initial Long March 9 will be expendable, but they are said to be working on a totally reusable system, more or less, probably copying Elon Musk. They're probably copying the heck out of it. But they are developing a totally reusable Long March 9 that will be more powerful than Elon Musk's Starship. That, and they're developing a 1 megawatt nuclear space reactor. That's huge, guys. China's up to something big. And they're also talking about their plans to go back to the moon. They want to put in a base inside of a lava tunnel. They're targeting the same areas on the South Pole that the United States wants to go to. And from the moon, oh my gosh, they can rule Earth and space totally if they're the only ones up there. So this is what we got to watch out for, guys. Yeah, Vicky's tough, Brandy. She's a tough girl. She hangs in. She's definitely a survivor, a warrior. Last time I had surgery to remove blood clots from the split of the pulmonary artery between the lungs. Woo! She's been surviving all kind of stuff. Yeah, I gotta say a prayer for her tonight before you go to bed. We'll pray for her probably Wednesday night. I gotta go, guys. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I still got chores to do, and I gotta get up early. Yeah, Vicky definitely deserves some prayers, guys. West Wind Elements is starting a cobalt refining company in Oklahoma. Oh, okay. There you go. That's what we need to do. Pull a lot of this stuff out of seawater, guys. That's one thing we need to be going for. All right. Now we had a lot of good discussions you guys have with each other. So got 118 in the room here. But we'll have to call it a night, guys. I got work to do. Got a lot of work to do. You know, I got other topics I wanted to work on, but there was just so much going on in the news. All this stuff with Russia's retreat from Kharkiv, the potential blowback a lot of people are talking about on that. The this whole thing with Armenia and Azerbaijan, Greece and Turkey. We got things going on with South Korea and North Korea. We got things going on with China and Taiwan, the U.S. and Israel against Iran. And right here internally inside the United States, so much tension, so much division. It's crazy. It's insane, guys. The guy made a vid like 10 years ago about running a car on seawater. There's a lot we can do with seawater, guys. Pray for the USS George Bush in the Mediterranean. Yeah, and the Ronald Reagan in Japan. Yeah, these could be hit. They absolutely could. Especially the kind of missiles that the DF-21, the Dongfeng 21, the Dongfeng 17, Dongfeng 26. These are aircraft carrier killers, Guam killers, according to China. And I think they mean it. You know, even if they're troops and their tanks won't roll, the missiles fly. That's what we got to worry about, guys. From a discussion that creates doubt, then to debate and divisions, then to political involvement, then to laws being passed, then to punishment. A Russian sub was spotted in the Mediterranean. Oh, yeah. Guys, we're living in perilous times. So I hope for a better future. We may have to go through heck to get there. I hope not. But, you know, that's why we prep. We prep so we can survive. It hits the fan, get up on the other side, shake it off, and go build a better world. That's what we're here for. I appreciate your prayers, but I am already sheltered in his hand. There you go. Well, we're thinking about you, Vicki. We're thinking about you. You know that. Our hearts and our souls are with you. Vera says, Billy was trolling Greg since the beginning of the stream. He deserved a few minutes in the corner. Yeah. Well, there are some folks that just come in to pull my chain. They know I'm not a flat earther. They know I'm, you know, I don't buy this junk about not going to the moon. But, you know, the only way you can prove it to them is to send them there and set them down on the moon right next to where we went before. If you do that, then they'd still tell you they were in a simulation probably. They wouldn't believe it. You put them there. You shot them out into space. They wouldn't even think they were there. They'd think they were on drugs or in a machine that was creating it all in their head. I don't know. They'd come up with some excuse. I don't care what you do. So some people you just can't argue with because their minds are made up. Anyway, Groucho Green Greg's, you're one of my go-to guys. Don't forget that, or I wouldn't be. Yeah, I'm cool with that. We don't have to agree on everything, Groucho. Groucho, you are more than a single topic individual. Billy was stuck on one topic. He was like a broken record tonight. So, like I said, I used to go on Daughtry's program, and we knew we disagree with each other majorly on a couple of things. We didn't even talk about that when I was on his show. We talked about the stuff we agreed on. His channel got taken down. He was a little too pointy, I suppose, for the powers that be. Anyway, I got to be careful here too. All right, guys, it's late. I got to go. Well, we're getting more people in the room. That's funny. We're actually increasing. All right, guys, go back and watch the video from the beginning if you want to see what we were covering to start with, what the discussion was. Aliens sprayed chemicals in the atmosphere to convince people we went to the moon. Yeah, something like that. All righty. Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, mods. You've been busy. And super chatters, y'all been great tonight. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So, if anybody sees Sierra Star, ask her. She apparently posted something. I couldn't find it on my, maybe I got a problem with my app. But guys, we're in exciting, interesting times. It's like the Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. But what I like to leave y'all God love you, says Ketchup. There you go. Not Mr. Greg, says Jason. Guys, I like for us to part on the note that, you know, we don't know how much time we got in this world. I mean, you know, you could trip over a rock and hit your head and that'd be your last minute. You never know. The same way for anybody you know or love. You know, we do have limited days. Some are more limited than others. It's a tragedy to watch kids pass away, and then some people live past 100. My dad almost made it. My brother, not so much. But it's always important to share with people that you love them. Tell them as often as you can that you love them. Give them a hug, just to show your appreciation, a little warmth. Don't hurt anybody. So just remember that. Get right with your maker. Be right with your friends and family. These are the people that matter to you. You know, the old people, when they're looking back through their lives, it's what they missed in terms of sharing with friends and families that they regret the most. It's not, did they make $1 million? Did they buy that Lamborghini? Or did they buy that speckled mule back in the old days? Maybe, I don't know. That's not what they end up thinking at the very end. It's how they shared their times with friends and family. What did they miss? If they regret anything, it was that they didn't give somebody a hug. So take every opportunity you can to show people that you love them. And that's one of the most important things. Also, that we got a world full of hate. Hatred is going. The old, the great deceiver, he loves that. You know who I'm talking about. The great deceiver, he loves that. He likes that kind of stuff. You don't like people. So then the best way to deal with that, the hatred, if we talk war, we talk civil war, whatever, you know, we get divided, polarized, and turned against each other. And even though you might disagree with somebody, don't mean you got to hate them. Now, if they want to attack you, well, you can't put up with that. You know, you got to defend yourself. You got to defend your loved ones. You got to defend your family. Sometimes your family is on the other side. But, you know, maybe that's not the most important thing in the world either. I've had people that I love very much that I disagreed with on major things. Yeah, I'm hunting something. Where'd I put them? There's people that I have disagreed with on major political things, all kind of other things that I thought the world of for other reasons. So we have to remember that, guys. And, you know, like I'm hunting this, my rose-colored glasses I got right here somewhere, right at my fingertips. I can't find them right now. That I did videos wearing those things, talking about rose-colored glasses and how you got to understand other people's worldviews. And that's the only way you can really reach out to them, try to understand each other. So we'll talk about that later. I got a video on that. The most important thing, though, is, live by the golden rule. You're right there. That's just you know, we forget these things. They want us to forget these things. They want both sides to forget these things. And that's sad. That's what's got us pitted so much against each other. Part of the solution space to the problems we have is to have open discussions and be able to have frank discussions without, you know, people thinking you're evil for discussing something. I mean, you know, it's like one side of the political spectrum has decided that the other side can't talk anymore. How about we just sit down and have a conversation? So, nope, can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you. Can't. I mean, they get so closed off, and then they accuse the other side of being closed off. And so, really, well, you get this political correctness to the nth degree, and you're blinded by your own perception there. We all tend to be that way somewhat. That's why I talk about worldviews. That's why I talked about the rose-colored glasses. But freedom. I stand for freedom. Above and beyond all else, I stand for freedom. But, you know, our freedoms are at risk. We got to try to make the other side understand why they're valued. These kids have been indoctrinated by the system. We got to try to reach through them and get through that. Break that crust of indoctrination off of them. That silicon crust. Like Ben Davison tells us, gets on the sun, which it don't. But we got to reach through to them, get to their hearts, and show them the goodness of different ways. Most important thing, what I like to end the video on is this. Of course, I tell you, there's good and bad people anywhere in the world of every race, color, and creed. But the final thing, liberty. Yes, yes, liberty. Exactly. Freedom. Freedom. Rain is right. Exactly. There you go. Come together for humanity. Amen. But here's the last thing I'll leave you with. I got these stage lights shining in my eyes right now. I don't have circular lights. You don't see those circles around my eyeballs like you see most YouTubers. I don't have circular lights back there. I got two cheap stick-on lights I got from Lowe's. They work just as good as those round, $150 round circular lights that most YouTubers get. They're probably even better. They're cheap. And they work just great. And I got a great remote control to operate them. But hey, talking about light, this is my stage light remote control. See? All right. What I like to tell you guys is this. Final word. And just as light dispels darkness, love dispels hate. Go out and shine your love light in the world. How you do that? Tell people you love them. Give people a hug. Help someone out from time to time. Help someone across the street. Open the door. Don't care. Do it for people across the spectrum, across the aisle, people of other persuasions, colors, race, whatever. Sometimes people go, oh, wow, that person was nice to me. That's what I'm thinking, or there's even beyond it. Go beyond that. Anytime you can, shine your love light in the world, however you find it possible to do that. It's important. The dumbing down has gone on for over a century. It has, but sure is intense now. Gotcha. I believe in freedom. God bless America. Yeah, that W-O of N, yeah, that's what we got to watch out for, guys. That's what we got to watch out for. Hey, folks, with that, I'm going to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for super chats. Thank you, mods. And good night.